Alright, race fans, welcome. We're live tonight here at the short track here, Richmond. And I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see what these guys can pull off here tonight. As, well, I think we're in round 2 here of the Chase Truck Series here tonight, or actually starting that Chase. But nonetheless, we are in the Chase, and it's going to be interesting to see the 16 drivers are going to battle it out here in the WCIparts.com Truck Series here at SIM500. Well, Gail, what do you think we're going to see here tonight, this short track?
It's going to be a handful for these guys. The track is hot and slick, and they are all struggling for grip right now, even in qualifying. Track temps all the way up at 123 degrees. And yeah, it's basically you got to kind of have an egg on your throttle pedal right now to try to get that power down, because if you mat it, you're gonna go around. So you got to be really careful on the throttle here. So I think you're gonna see probably a handful of self spins throughout this race.
Gonna be interesting because look who's there on pole. Chad Cole and Chad Coleman, 1 and 2, starting this thing off here tonight. And so I always say it's the Chad and Chad show out here. Gonna look pretty good. Well, what you see on the screen right now is a graph here. There's the 16 drivers tonight who are going to try to race their way in to Homestead at the end of the season to buy for the championship here at the WCIparts.com. Oh, very good one. So, want to apologize out the ticker up there. As you can, we just had Trey Edson just jump up to the top spot. You'll see the top 3. Had a little technical difficulties on ATVO side of things, but we are falling back to the old trustworthy here IR tonight. So some of the names up top won't match kind of what we're seeing.
Yeah, I'll say we'll do our best to keep you guys in the loop as to who's where, especially on the chase for playoffs front. I'll say this is actually an elimination race, so after tonight, the top 12 will go on, and then 13th through 16th, that'll be the end of their championship hopes, unfortunately. And so right now, the 4 that I believe are trying to get back up into that position. Well, one's not. I think 2 of them may not be here, so those 2 aren't. So I think it's gonna be up to Kevin DeBrown and Steve Gottschalk. They're trying to bump up in front of Brian Macklin, Richard Swavely, and JD Laird. That's gonna be that's that bubble area right now we're going to be having to take a look at.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's see if we can't grid these guys up here tonight, because Trey Edson puts it on pole, on with Chad Cole on the outside. Looks like Chad Coleman starting in 3rd, Ryan Howard up in the 4th. 5th place man, Brian Macklin. You got Kevin Brown starting in the 6th place. 7th place there, E.J. O'Rourke, and Justin Fuller rounds up in the 8th place. 7th place, Jonathan Lockhart. Brandon Bowie right there rounds up the top 10s. Look to the rest of the field. Like you just said, Gail. Hey, Gael, I'm gonna get it right before it's over with. I don't want to say Gail, but Gael.
No worries.
I tell you, it's interesting to see who's going to come out of here, because, you know, we've had Chase Week all this week, and it's been kind of a mix-up. Some guys have had some good ones, some guys not so much. So tonight, these guys with these trucks, short track racing, you know how short tracks sometimes are. Some guys, you know, you might think you're okay, the next thing you know, boom, disaster.
Yeah, I'm saying, looks like I'm not sure exactly on the points, but I'll say the last 2 winners of the first playoff segment were Tommy Ryan and David Comstock. So right now they both have 3 points going into the next round should they advance. So this will be also an opportunity for those who want to try to get a couple extra bonus points, because you know how important those can be in these championship situations here. So that might be a chance for either Trey or Chad or someone like that to try to get a couple extra points for this next round coming up. Absolutely.
So here we go. Let's see what we got going on. These guys tonight are definitely going to battle here. Richmond is one of these tracks, like I say, it's hot. Anybody's ball game. It's short track race. And I like short tracks. I mean, I really do. Martinsville and the likes there, Bristol and all those. So, this place here, like you said, is kind of slick. Let's see. Can Trey Edson pull this thing off tonight, though?
I think he definitely has a really good chance. So I didn't get to look too much on the practice lap speeds, but yeah, I think there's gonna be a handful that the ones that are able to usually take care of their stuff, and that's kind of where I look at like a Chad Cole, Trey Edson. I feel like they're really good about taking care of their tires. I'd say Chad Coleman and Brian Macklin as well. I think those guys will definitely be in a pretty good position here to try to take care of their stuff and make it happen. So there's gonna be kind of buy their time and just try to stay away from anybody else's mistakes and try to capitalize on it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Yes, it is. Here we come. Getting set to go green flag racing here tonight. Man, right there on the outside there, Trey Edson's going to bring him to the line. Pace car drops out. Here we go. Green flags flying. We're racing here at Richmond Motor Speedway.
Really good start there by Trey, able to clear Chad into one there, get a little bit of a better arc to angle it down there. And so I'll say now we're going to wait and see who's going to pick what lines, and then yeah, just see who's able to kind of make some moves here at the beginning.
Everybody's going to try to get single file here early on. I feel it's like you said, you already see him slipping and sliding. The 33 of Ryan Howard right there almost lost the grip on that machine. Kevin Brown's in the mix. Justin Fuller, oh, he had a dominating performance this past Monday. He's going to see if he can't cap it off here tonight in the truck series. But I think everybody's going to try to get single file early because I don't think side by side is going to be the way to be around this track.
No, I say yeah. I think they're going to try to single out, and I think the big thing is going to be just try to capitalize on the other's mistakes. So if someone gets a little too aggressive and kind of roast that tire and maybe gets it a little bit loose on exit, that's going to be where you want to try to pounce on them. As I say, I saw someone in the back there got really loose on the throttle.
Yeah, watching the battle here, Ryan Howard is still up top. I think that's where the trucks will travel eventually. Maybe try to kind of run the middle of the track here because that inside lane will get very slick. Justin Fuller and SMSpeedShop.com machine looking very good. Brandon Bowie right there behind him. EJ O'Rourke is another one. He knows how to wheel one of these trucks around. That 41. JD Laird right there looking good up underneath the 6 of Jonathan Lockhart. That around that's your top 10 right now. So everybody's kind of single file trying to pace himself at the moment.
Yeah, so that's kind of what you got to do right now. Is it's really early, 150 laps here tonight. So yeah, just try to take it a little easy. So you saw one get a little push up there off the wall, but it looks like it may have been Jonathan Lockhart, but it looks like he's in good shape now, able to recover.
Yep. Jonathan Lockhart right there, like you said, just kind of, yeah, he was up there and he just got really slick, kind of moved back. And it's another thing about this track. It's kind of a momentum style track. You can lose a lot of time here if you don't watch it just by, obviously, like we said, getting a little bit loose there. But you see Richard,
Swavely.
Swavely. All right, good deal. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'll say, yeah, that definitely hurt Jonathan, though. Started 9th, dropped down back to 17th position. So, like I said, just one small mistake, and that's where just everybody's able to kind of jump on you there. So, but yeah, Trey and Chad are kind of taking pretty good lap times right now. They're running in the 7s, where it looks like the rest of the field right now are running 22, 8s, and 9s. So, right now they're definitely putting on a pretty good pace here.
And the biggest thing here, Sean Castro did not make the field here tonight. It's 27 machines started out, but he is right now 26 are running. As you got John Mustin right there in the last place. Robert Gillenwater back there with him. Chris Jaboo. So throughout this whole entire field, but the man out front, Trey Edson right now is holding on to it. Chad Cole sitting in second. Chad Coleman right there in third as everybody's kind of running single file for the moment. He's kind of, like I said, pacing himself. Good battle here, though, 5th and 6th.
Yeah, it's a really tight battle there right there. And I was saying that's where I think like some of these guys, I mean, Trey and Chad Cole, they're in pretty good shape on points. I feel like they can probably, even with a bad night, I think they'll be okay. But when you start looking at Chad Coleman, I mean, he's in a really good spot, but he's still's got to be a little bit careful. Right now, he's in the 7th position in points. But he's only about, I believe, just 10 points out of the 11th position. So, yeah, I think this is where just going to need to minimize mistakes really at this point.
Absolutely, and Kevin Brown right there in the mix, and that number 93 machine in the 6th place spot. You got Ryan Howard there in the 33 machine Justin Fuller trying to work them over right now. Brian Macklin hanging on to the 4th place, but he has Justin Fuller all over his back tailgate.
Yeah, right now you've got the top, it's actually, yeah, the top 7 right now are all playoff contention drivers, so they're doing what they need to be doing right now. So then you're going to have a couple that are maybe a little bit further back at the moment, so they'll definitely want to make some gains here. Richard Swavely's one. He's running in the 19th position, so he's going to want to try to move forward. Same for Jason Barham as well. So again, long ways to go, but yeah, those are a couple of guys that are going to need to try to gain some positions to help their chances to go on to that next round.
Well, I will say this. If you look at the ticker up there, folks, you see that the top 3 right now are showing TCC, which means Trey Edson, Chad Cole, and Chad Coleman. I guess you can actually kind of implement that over, and it's kind of easy way to tell who's in the chase and who's not, because if you see a single letter name, that means they are in the chase here on the ticker. And if you're seeing the other style name, that means they're not. So there you go. Kind of works out in the favor tonight, but kind of a little bit different than what we normally have. But either way, Trey Edson is holding the pace right now with Chad Cole, and Chad Coleman sitting in second, third. Justin Fuller did make it around Brian Macklin right there for the 4th place spot. Now Brian has his hands full with Kevin Brown.
Yeah, sitting right behind them. Oh, Brandon Bowie gets really loose off too, able to hang on to. He was trying to make a move there on Ryan Howard, and yeah, he had a lot of wheel into that truck, but able to hang on to it there. Say right now, Kevin Brown's just hoping to get the power down just enough to clear Brian Macklin, and that's exactly what you need here at Richmond. And say if you're stuck on the inside of him, that's just going to make that much harder to complete that pass, just because of how loose it's going to get on exit.
Brandon Bowie's got a nice truck out there with the RacingBiz.com machine. He's up the 7th place spot. Brian Macklin sitting in 6th. J.D. Laird's moving it up there, though, to the 8th place spot. He's moves Ryan back to 9th for the moment. Tommy Ryan's coming into the picture. All those guys right there kind of under a blanket, nose to tail, running. We're 17 laps in here for the chase race here tonight for the WCIparts.com. SIM500 here tonight. Folks, appreciate everybody tuning in. 150 laps here total. The man on the move right now, though, is Justin Fuller. He has done closed in on Chad Coleman.
Yeah, closed in, and he's making the move, and say Chad just rolls out of it early, lets him go. So put Fuller now up to the 3rd spot, started 8th here. Say not even 20 laps into this race, and he's already gained 5 spots. So really good progress forward here for Fuller. Say he's got a ways to go now to get to Chad Cole. I didn't even notice that. Those top 2 have definitely snuck away. Edson's got about a 2nd lead or so on Chad, whereas Fuller's got about 3 seconds back on the lead. So he's gonna have to try to put some laps down to try to catch up to those guys. But he's been, I say, as you said, he's been making moves though. So he's got a fast truck right now.
He does. Definitely looking at that for the moment, just kind of seeing him running down, watching his lap times. You know, maybe the pass right there slowed him down just a touch. He is running a pace with the top 2 guys, Trey Edson and Chad Cole. Like you said, he's got a 3.4 second gap between himself and the leader, as Trey Edson has checked out, and he's got a 7/10 lead over Chad Cole. So Justin Fuller up to 3rd, Chad Coleman back into the 4th place mix, Kevin Brown up to 5th. Everybody's kind of getting spread out, which is kind of normal for this style track, this style conditions. Good battle here for 5th place, as you got the number 30 machine of Brian Macklin working him over.
Oh, it's really close. They're off of 2. Yeah, say Kevin was able to get by Brian a lap or 2 ago, but I say now looks like Brian might have a little bit more in his tires. He wants to try to get that position back here. So I say we talk about racing the racetrack. This is what probably neither of them want to see at the moment. But like we talked about too, they need to get all the points they can, so they can't just roll over at this point.
No, they can't. Right now, Kevin Brown trying to get that spot away. He is up on the outside, but J.D. Laird's going to move up underneath him and take the 6th place spot away from him. Brandon Bowie might be able to try that again here. This is one thing about it with a hot track like these guys are dealing with. You've got to be throttle sensitive here, you know, be on eggshells, because this truck will step out from under you.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how you have to treat this right now. Just you got to basically, drive like you have an egg on your throttle, so you have to be real gentle with it, because if you just try to mat it, you're going to be going around. And these guys have actually done a really good job. I was watching them practice, and they're trying to find the limits, and a lot of them they were finding it. So I think yeah, now they're kind of being a little more cautious. They kind of found those what those limits are, and they're doing a really good job right now, just trying to get what they can with the way the track conditions are.
I said early on, I've watched Justin Fuller in the past. The man loves to run the tires off of one of these machines. He just fell back to fourth place as you saw Chad Coleman able to run him back down and get right back around him. Justin Fuller's one of the most aggressive out here, call him Mr. Aggressive out here because he runs those things hard. I think he just has one speed, that's go. And you can tell it right now, as you can already see though, with the conditions on this track, it's going to be very hard. He can run those tires off. It looks like that truck is already giving up the ghost as far as, handling and wise.
Yeah, so definitely had something happen to him to lose that time and also the spot, of course. It looks like he's recovered pretty well. He's kind of regrouped now, hanging with Chad Coleman really well at the moment there for that third and fourth position. But yeah, just out front though, Trey and Chad Cole are just setting sail. They've got about 4 seconds on the rest of the field. As Trey's actually working on lap traffic right now with Jeff Ryan.
Yes, he is right there. Justin Fuller trying everything he can. Chad Coleman still hanging on the third. Brian Macklin sitting up in the four. J.D. Laird up at the six. As everybody's starting to slip and slide out here on a hot, slick track like you mentioned earlier, which Richmond is already a slick style track after a while, especially when the tires start to wear out. Now, this place is not known for a lot of grip after a certain amount of a time and a certain amount of laps on it. So you combine that with the conditions we got on the track, wow, makes for treacherous racing.
Yeah, I was saying I think that's part of the reason why for a long time they just ran Richmond at night in the NASCAR series just to help that part out. But I say they've done it a few times now where they've gone back and run some day races either because of weather or just trying to switch things up and see if that's something the fans might like a little more. And yeah, I mean, I definitely remember there were some races where those cars were a handful in the Cup Series just because of the weather and how hot the track was getting.
I tell you right now, Trey Edson, he's in that danger zone I like to call. He's in there with a bunch of lap down machines, and usually on short tracks, once you start getting in lap traffic, you don't get out of lap traffic too often. And that means danger lurks at every corner for him. So something to keep in mind. He's still got a good lead over Chad Cole, who is about a half a second behind him. He makes it around the lap machine right there to number 3. That would actually be John Mustin. And Chad Coleman back still here, hanging on to the third place spot. He's got Justin Fuller there in tow, J.D. Laird, and rounds out your top 5. But then you got a gaggle of machines behind them.
Yeah, say leaders are able to get by the big group right now of those lap cars. They've got a little bit of a gap now until the next truck. But yeah, like you said though, I mean it's a fight right there around that 4th, 5th position. They're just all over each other still between Coleman, pretty much from Coleman all the way down to Tommy Ryan. I say not too far behind. Steve Ritter's been trying to close up on those guys while they've been battling.
Good looking truck there. Tommy Ryan's running. Looks like Northern Tool Association and equipment out there. So very good looking truck. He's got that 99 machine. He is in the 10th place spot right there in that last one. Steve Ritter right there behind them, sitting in the 11th. Just looking kind of a little bit of gap between them, as you was mentioning. But about 6 on back, maybe 5th on back. Everybody right there knows the tail. The Nerf man himself, Steve Goschalk, kind of hanging on to the 14th place spot. Everybody's kind of spread out a little bit back here in the back style of the track.
Yeah, I was saying that from Chad Coleman on, they just started catching that group of trucks that Chad Cole and Trey Edson had got by a little earlier. So it's getting really busy from about that 3rd, 4th place positions. They've been able to get by a couple of them, but now they're trying to fight with each other and fight around these lap trucks. So yeah, business is definitely picking up for these guys.
And there you go. Right now, Jason Barron back in the 19th place spot. Just kind of looking at some of these drivers back here in the very, very back and what's going on with them. They look kind of like we just talked about, spread out. So most of your action's happening around about the 5th, 6th place spot, as a lot of those guys are right there on top of each other having their own tailgate party, but they're kind of closing in and getting into some lap traffic themselves. As Chad Cole has moved in just a little bit on Trey Edson. He's about 3.5 tenths off. I think that's due to maybe some of the lap traffic that Trey's having to modulate through.
Yeah, so they're starting to catch up onto the next truck of the four of Bob Gillenwater. So yeah, no, Chad's definitely been kind of slowly creeping in on him a little bit, about maybe half a tenth or so a lap. Let's say down to about like you said, 3/10. And saying I know his trade now is kind of changing his lineup a little bit, see if he can get some better exit if he runs that middle in 3 and 4. So he's definitely trying to see if there's some more grip and speed to be found out of that number 10 truck or number 40 truck. As they say, that caution just came out.
Got here.
Looks like it involved Jeff Ryan and I believe John Muschin as well.
Let's see what we got. Go back here on Jeff Ryan to see what happened here. Caution's out at lap 39. It's going to put them right close to their pit window. Not sure how far they go. Looks like Jeff got just a little bit wiggly off the turn, but see what happened. The 16 drove it down.
I think
the
it was
inside.
I think it was actually the 3 got loose entering turn 3.
Oh, and the 16 nowhere to go. Jeff had nowhere to go. All those machines right there. Steve Ritter. Yep. So the 3 machine, you're right. Just saw it. John Mustin there, losing it. Nowhere to go for the other 2 drivers.
Yeah, saying pit road will be a busy place. The only strategy I can see is I could see some of these guys consider not taking a full fuel load just to see if they can tighten that truck up a little bit. Obviously, that puts you at risk if it's a long green run, then you'd have to short pit. But you could see some strategy here, maybe not on tires, but on fuel. I know some people have been, they had talked about that during practice.
I would say the pit window, I know this is probably not the pit window. They could have probably went a lot longer. I'm going to say probably they could have gone in the 50-some lap range, you know, maybe even longer than that, which would have made them with only a two-stop style strategy, because at this point now you're looking at 3 stops at least to do it here. I would think anyways.
Yeah, I was checking with some of the drivers. It sounds like you could actually, if you really stretched on tires and fuel, you could probably get almost like 75, 80 laps out of fuel just because of the fall off. So it sounds like the potential though is going to be like they could actually possibly make it. No, actually, no, this would be at about 90 laps. So it'd be outside their window here. But yeah, this is where I'm curious to see if anybody maybe short filled instead of filling it to the brim.
Well, if you bring up that fact, then like you just said right there, if they could go 70, 80 laps, then that would put them right back in the window of just one more pit stop. And if they did, even like you said, shorten it up on fuel, and let's say they just go 60 laps instead of 80, or what, and so forth, or at least another. If they even go another, they'd have to go at least 60 laps to put it, within a 50-lap margin. But if, let's say, they even go 50 laps and put it at 90 and make it 60 laps to the end and then fill it up, good strategy.
Yeah, so I'll have to kind of keep an eye and see if any of these trucks look like they've got a little more grip on them or not. Because the track's still hot. It's 124 track temp right now. But yeah, so after the pit stops though, still Trey Edson, Chad Cole 1-2, but JD Laird started 13th, and he's now running in the 3rd position. So it's a really good job by JD, making a lot of ground up in this first run.
He was up there in the top 10, running with those guys earlier on before the caution came out. So he's had a very good stable and a very good run to the front. Slow, methodically bringing it up there in that 46 machine JD has. So like you just said, good run by him tonight as we're here live at Richmond International Speedway. Short track racing here for the WCIparts.com SIM500 Truck Series. And the man out front, Trey Edson, he has dominated. He has led it all so far under caution for the first time tonight. Single truck spin. Did collect a couple other machines involved in it. Getting set to go back green here.
Yes, and one thing to note, unfortunately, Chad Coleman looks like he wound up speeding in the pits, so he's going to restart in the 20s, it looks like, possibly around 21st position, so that's going to hurt for him. He's going to, he's still got lots of time to make that track position up, but he's definitely going to have to take his time working through the field here.
The good thing about this track here tonight and the conditions is he will be able to come through the field, unlike a lot of things we've seen in the past where you wouldn't be able to come to the field. Pace car is in. Trey Edson's the man up front. It's going to bring him to the line. Here we go. Green flag flies. We're back racing at Richmond.
So another good start by Trey. And pretty good actually start by Chad too. Looks like he'll be able to get to the bottom. Yep, able to sneak down to the bottom there and hold on to that second spot, where the battle right now is going to be for third between JD Laird. Oh, someone got really loose off of turn 2. Looks like it was Kevin DeBrown. He's able to hang on to it, but yeah, that cost him some spots as well, just trying to chase that truck.
Yes, it is, and that's what we're going to see all night long, guys. Coming off the turn on that low end, chasing those trucks down there. That's usually how the treacherous place is here at Richmond, is up underneath. Truck just snaps loose on you very quickly right there as Brian Macklin's on the inside, battling along with the 51 of Justin Fuller. We've seen him start to come through the front early on, but then he kind of faded off as the tires got worn. If he's able to adjust and see what he can do. Ryan Howard up to 7th. You know, and Chad Cole already made up some spots. He's up to 17th, so he's definitely got time, and he's got a fast enough machine to get back to the front.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely got a fast enough truck to make it happen. He's just got to take his time, kind of pick him up as he can, and kind of like almost and avoid what happened with Richard Swavely. Avoid getting caught up in an accident in front of you. So so far though, oh yep, I see that. On the apron though, so it was Randy Yoakum, I believe. Not sure if anybody else was involved.
No, was watching it, but I'm gonna go back here on the replay here and let the viewers see it. Actually, him in the 13 machine there, Dwayne Vincent just caught the rear end of him coming off. Looks like he pushed up the track. Good save though by Randy right there. He went to the grass, but good heads up driving job by him.
Yeah, say one of those deals where it's like, really good save, I'm saying, but I'm sure he'd be hoping for that yellow to gain that track position back. But I'll say it stays green, and I'll say Trey still got that about a 0.3 of a second lead. But JD Laird's though, he's been closing in on Chad Cole. As I say, that yellow does come out.
Jonathan Lockhart slams the wall hard. Let's see what happened. He's back here behind him in the 6 machine. Not sure if he just lost it on his own coming out of the turn. Yep, that truck just looped around. Slams the inside wall. Able to it just stops right there at part of the track, off the apron, run the caution. What we're seeing so far here though, Gael, is these guys are having to battle the conditions on the track.
Yeah, I'll say and that's the thing, is even with these new tires, it's still not an easy thing to do. So and this will definitely, if they can indeed go. Well, let's see, we got about 100 laps to go, so say my math's all sorts of off today. So yeah, so they got about 100 to go at this point here. So what they could do is, like we talked about, split it up into 2 here and take tires. And again, maybe they don't take any fuel. I think you might see some split strategy. Someone might try to stay out for track position, but I think I'm being proven wrong. Looks like everybody's going to come in here. So I think now the question is, is it tires only, or does somebody want to get a little bit more fuel to go further on the run? So it's that same little potential strategy that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, definitely I would want to say tires. Tires are going to be very, very important in a track like this with the condition it is. I would say I don't think anybody would even try to dare to go 2 tires. 4 tires is almost a must. It's going to come down to the fuel that, like you said, how much do you want to put in? What do you want to risk as far as reward on it? It does look like everybody did put 4 tires and fuel. Good pit stops by everybody right now.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of even more interesting for the strategy part of this, is just the fact that you don't know. Like, we can't see if they're taking fuel or not. So but the 2-tire stop, you can see that they only jacked up the one side of the truck. But for fuel, we don't know. I mean, we don't know if they plugged in the can into it or not. So that's going to be something that's also curious to see, is maybe we can tell, like, okay, this truck looks a little tighter than he was earlier, so maybe he's a little bit lower on fuel than these other guys.
And then we also got to look at too is the fact of with that, it has to be a long green flag run. One thing they don't want to get into, and it's the gamble side of it here, is short runs, 15, 20 lap runs, and then a caution come out. If it does, then that strategy we're sitting here talking about, goes out the window, because you don't want a tight truck, and it'll never tighten up because you're still right there in the mix of the tires have not worn out totally. But we need that long green flag run to make this whole scenario work.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Because I'll say then the next step would be one of those things, almost like with Indy cars, where it's like once you can make it on fuel, you don't put any more fuel in. Whereas normally with the Cup cars, you still want to add a little bit of fuel in them just to kind of have that weight to the back of the car or the truck.
Well, right now, Trey Edson's the man out front. He won it off on pit road there. Chad Cole sitting in second. J.D. Laird up to third. Brandon Bowie there to fourth. And Brian Macklin up to fifth. So everybody right now, pretty good job. Everybody got off pit road. Looks like everybody took 4 tires. Again, not sure about the fuel-wise. Could have filled it up. Could have went half on it. We are at lap 53 here. 150 tonight. Richmond International Speedway short track racing. Chase style here. Just bring up the grid here for everybody to see. All the chase drivers, 16 drivers, them drivers right there, the ones that are trying to see if they can, make it to the next round. Make it to maybe one of the 4 here and get to Homestead to race for the title.
Yeah, saying we mentioned a little earlier, Chad Coleman's one of those ones. He's in a good spot in points, but like right now running in the 23rd position after that last pit stop here. So he had a pit penalty in the last one. I'm not sure if he may have had another one here, or if he's maybe doing some strategy. So I'm going to take a quick look on the replay. Yeah, I think he sped again.
What's that? Chad Coleman?
I think Chad Coleman sped again in the pits because he's now same thing last car in the lead lap. So he's going to have to stop doing that.
Yeah, bit him right there. His pace car's in. We're going back green. Trey Edson drops the hammer. We're back loud again here at Richmond International Speedway. He gets a good jump. Here comes J.D. Laird to the inside. Going to try for that second spot. He's had a good run all night long.
Yeah, he's going to get that spot. Looks like Chad Cole went a little bit too high entering one. Not able to get to rotate down, so now he's going to have to really, as I was saying, he's going to have to be really aggressive to try to get to the bottom, and got contact with him in the 30 of Brian Macklin. They're able to keep it straight, but as I say that, they're going around behind him, E.J. O'Rourke.
Wow, Justin Fuller right there almost got involved, but you're right. Let's go back. That kind of happened when everybody kind of got jacked up there between Chad Cole and them. They were 3 and 4 wide, and then EJ nowhere to go. Justin Fuller got a little part of that. So, ouch. Yeah, Rourke sliding to the infield.
Yeah, so there's some chase contender trucks that have some damage from that one. So, gonna see if they're gonna need to try to take some tires here and get the damage repaired, or if they feel like track position is gonna be too critical for that. I feel like in some of those positions they're gonna might as well pit. It's like Chad Cole's fallen back to 6th after that, with Brian Macklin in 7th. But I think like Fuller's in 9th right now, Kevin's in 10th. So I think for sure we'll obviously see EJ in the pits. But we could see some trucks getting some damage repaired here. Looks like Fuller's going to be the first taker.
Well, with the top 2 guys right now, they're Gail been in the chase, Trey Edson and J.D. Laird. I mean, we talked about it. The man has came through the field. He is a chase contender, so he definitely knows what's on line, and he's right now in 2nd. But you got Brandon Bowie sitting there in 3rd place spot, and Ryan Howard 4th. Tommy Ryan up to the 5th. Chad Cole, he did move back to 6th, but man, it was awful close amongst those trucks up there. They got awful loose real quick.
Yeah, so I think it was just everybody was so desperate to try to get to the bottom side of the track there, and so Chad tried to dive it in there, and then I'm blanking names. Brian Macklin tried to fill that gap, and so just wound up getting contact with each other. So you've got EJ and Fuller both are in right now getting their damage fixed on their trucks. They're gonna not be able to get all of it fixed because here comes the pace car, so you'll probably see them drop off the jacks here and try to get around real quick before the pace car comes around.
Well, the one thing about it here too is that in the top 10, only 2 drivers are not chase drivers. So if you're EJ and you're Chad Coleman, you're looking at that going, we've got to get back to the top 10, and Justin Fuller at that too. We've got to get back to the top 10 because this could be devastating if you've got that many chase drivers in the top 10. It's going to be close throughout this whole 3-race chase for the first part of it to get in the second one. And remember, it's not a win and you're in, folks, here at the SIM500. They do it the old style chase way, which I prefer. I like. Makes the guys get out here and race, makes sure they just don't kind of give up if they win a race. But so it is by points. So if EJ, Justin, Chad, and them can't make it up today, maybe next week they can. But again, I take it back to when you've got in your top 10, 8 of them chase drivers running as good as they are and consistent, going to make it being very hard to make it to that next round.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is, from 8th place in the points to 13th in the points is there's only 11 points between them. So like you said, finishing top 10 versus finishing 20th or so, I mean that's going to make a big difference. So they're going to have to be real careful to try to maximize as many spots as they can here. And like you said, might even see some strategy too. Like I see Fuller's in getting some more damage fixed. Chad Coleman came into the pits as well, maybe to just top off on fuel, because we are at lap 60 now, so that's 90 laps on fuel with the yellows. That could be doable, and that might be it. It's like, hey, this is my last fuel stop. I'm just going to take tires from here on out.
Yep, absolutely. Trey Edson, though, definitely is the man on cue here tonight with JD Laird right there behind him, looking good. Everybody's going to stack them up side by side. We're going back green flag racing here at Richmond.
Yeah, so I say JD Laird's been, I think, in that 3rd position on the restarts his last couple times. So now we're going to see how he's able to fare up on top, because obviously that's what kind of bit Chad Coles. He was not able to get to the bottom like he was hoping to. So to see if Brandon Bowie is going to try to fill that gap if it opens up.
Good observation there, and we'll see as pace cars in. Here we go. Trey Edson up front. We're going to try to time it with Trey if he can. Trey gets a good jump. JD's right there. Here comes Brandon on the inside.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite far enough along to try to, or not far enough ahead to try to get down to the bottom. So now his goal is going to be try to get a really good exit off too. But yeah, Brandon's able to stay inside of him here, so he's going to have the position entering 3 right now.
Well, Tommy Ryan got all kind of loose. That's the one thing, though, that might help out JD up there is the inside lane is just so slick. And right now it's a good dual battle, but you see JD's falling back a little bit. He's got his hands full of Ryan Howard coming up underneath him. Everybody's just trying, like you said, to maybe get down to that low line, get all single file up top. Tommy Ryan there with Kevin Brown battling.
Yeah, say Brandon's able to sneak by, and now Brian Howard's trying to follow suit. Say trying to peek his nose in there, entering 1. Had just enough where JD's not able to get him cleared, but he's going to try to pinch him a little bit, but just can't get that power down like he needs to. Up turn 2, and then Ryan Howard's got the advantage here, entering 3.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was just watching back in the back there. Truck was all over the place.
Ryan Howard's getting loose in the front stretch.
Justin.
See if he's able to hang on to it. Looks like he will, so probably will not bring out a yellow. But say that's another chase or playoff contender, though. I mean, that's going to hurt him now. That's going to drop him back to probably the 23rd position right here.
Go back on the replay and watch it again. I was watching back here. What I was saying is Justin Fuller here, right, just looped it coming off the line there and was able to go through the grass and hang on to it. But now the truck kind of got a little loose back there in front of Justin Fuller, E.J. O'Rourke. Now, remember, they're marred back in traffic back here in about the actual 13th, 14th, 15th place spot. So they're coming through the field. Not a place that they want to be, but you already see Justin Fuller working over Chad Coleman back here. So those guys are trying, I said, got to get back in that top 10, and they know it.
Yeah, no, they definitely need to get back where they were running earlier. I say up front, Trey Edson and then Brandon Bowie and Tommy Ryan are in a really good spot right now. Chad Cole's able to actually get back up now into the 4th position, able to sneak around Kevin Brown. So that's going to put Kevin now back to 5th. And so now you've got a fight between Brian Macklin and JD Laird for that 6th position.
I think JD needs to get down to the inside lane, but I don't think the truck's allowing him to right now. Maybe a little bit tight for him, and it's holding up on the track. It's allowing everybody else to get right up underneath him for the moment. Now he slips in the line. Everybody's single file, but he's back to 7th so far. Now Chad Coleman has moved up to the 11th place spot. He's bringing Justin Fuller and E.J. O'Rourke along with him. So that freight train is coming in a hurry to try to get back to the top 10.
Yeah, say they're making really good progress right now. Say Dwayne Vincent's the next truck in front. And then right in front of him, we mentioned her a little earlier, Steve Gottschalk. He kind of was just, I think, just biding his time, seeing how things were shaking out a little bit. So now he's moved up a little bit now to the 9th position. So, and then he's got Steve Ritter in front of him, who's got a fair bit of front end damage from that first wreck. with the 3 and the, was it the 6?
Not
I'm
sure.
not sure
Along
where
with
the 2 are.
JD also has some front end damage there. I think everybody's kind of checked up here. That's short track racing there, Gael.
Yeah, I was saying that might be the benefit of just how loose the setup is and everything. That damage may not really affect the arrow or anything like that enough to really hurt them too bad.
No, I don't think it will. Right now it's just a short track. You can see you get away with a little bit of damage here on the short tracks as Justin Fuller's made the pass over Chad Coleman up to 11th. So Justin's on the move, but Trey Edson's still the man out front. He's got almost a second lead over Brandon Bowie, who is sitting in second. Tommy Ryan the third. Chad Cole up to fourth. Kevin Brown the fifth. J.D. Laird's falling back to sixth. Brian Macklin seventh. Steve Ritter up to eighth. Steve Goschalk the ninth. Around the top 10, Dwayne Vincent right now in the first truck outside. Looking in the top 10 is Justin Fuller.
Yeah, so things have kind of smoothed out a little bit now. So you still got Trey Edson and Brandon Bowie again, and then you have a really big gap from them back to Tommy Ryan, and that's where Chad Cole and Kevin DeBrown are trying to chase him down right now for that third position. But yeah, from there on back though, they're all really close to each other. So like you mentioned, Fuller, he is all over the back bumper now of Dwayne Vincent.
Yes, he is. Fuller's going to try to see if he can't crack that top 10 right there. Dwayne's hanging on to it, but Justin wants it. See, he knows he's got Chad Coleman and E.J. O'Rourke right behind him. So those three have been able to bounce back, but here comes Justin peeking to the inside. He's going to see if he can't take that spot away.
Yeah, it looks like he should be able to, as long as he can get the power down here off of 4. Yeah, it looks like he'll have the run he needs. Let's say he'll be able to take that 10th position now. And yeah, so he'll start setting his sights now on the 91 of Steve Goschalk.
And here he's going to bring along with him Chad Coleman, and I think E.J. O'Rourke for the moment might try to do the same thing as those guys there. Looks like now 10th, 11th, and Coleman's going to be maybe 12th. You see E.J.'s going to battle there, but side by side with Dwayne. So those guys are kind of running nose to tail with each other coming to the front.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, seems like Justin's kind of picking them off, and then they're just kind of following through. So it's like, all right, you open the hole, and then we'll follow ourselves through afterwards. So, but yeah, say Fuller's getting really able to get really deep into the turns there. I have a feeling, yeah, it's only gonna be probably another lap or so until he gets to the underneath of Steve there for that 9th position.
So far, so good. As out front, Trey Edson is hanging on to this one. Brandon Bowie sitting there in second. Trey has definitely been dominating it so far. He's got a 1 second lead over him. Brandon right there sitting in second. Tommy Ryan up to third. Chad Cole to fourth. Kevin Brown into fifth. So, everybody looking good so far.
Yeah, so they're doing a good job. Like we mentioned earlier, say Fuller was able to get by Steve, and then Coleman able to follow through. Steve was able to sneak back to the bottom there between Coleman and EJ. So we're going to see now I think now the goal for Steve is going to be kind of the same thing, just kind of follow along with those guys, see if he can keep their pace, and then just pick them off as Justin's able to.
So far, so good. Justin Fuller, like you said, picking them off one by one here. We're chase race here tonight, Richmond International Speedway for the WCIparts.com SIM500 Truck Series. And Justin puts it up in the wall for the moment.
Oh yeah, definitely got a little bit more damage there. Yeah, just caught the wall, trying to get that little bit of an angle into turn 1. It looked like.
Yeah, it bumped it there just a little bit, so truck might be getting a little tight. Maybe you were talking about it earlier. Maybe he was the one who did put a little bit lesser fuel, maybe tighten that truck up. We should start seeing that as, they've been out there now for, quite some time on the laps.
Yeah, Fuller's actually got the freshest tires of the group ahead of him. He's got about 9 laps or so fresher tires than the leaders. Again, some of them under yellow, but still, every little bit counts at a track like this.
So far, so good, as all these guys right now are definitely leading the pack and leading the way here. But you see them. Trey Edson's been the man all night long. Definitely dominating and battling it out. Brandon Bowie there in second. Tommy Ryan up to third. And you got Chad Cole and Kevin Brown up to 5th right now. JD still sitting in 6th. Brian Macklin 7th. Steve Ritter 8th. But most change is Justin Fuller back to 9th. And Chad Coleman up to 10th. Yeah, Rourke's trying to see if he can't crack that number 11. He's got to make it around Steve Goschalk for the moment.
Yeah, I'm trying to double check. I thought I saw, I don't know if it was by choice or if it was unintentional. I say it looked like Macklin was trying a different line there, running the top in 3 and 4. But I think it may have just been, so watch him come up on John Muschin there, really close off of turn 2. But yeah, it looks like he may have just maybe overshot the turn just a little bit there. As we were talking about that, though, it does look like EJ was able to get around Steve Gottschalk, so I'll put Steve now back to the 12th position. And then you've got right behind him, you got Dwayne Vincent trying to see if he can follow through as well.
Yes, it is. So Trey's still the man out front. There's Justin and EJ there, and EJ finally makes it around. He's up to 11th so far, so they've been able to climb through the field pretty good. As we still got 24 machines out here running of the 27, 3 machines out officially of the race. Jonathan Lockhart, Chris Jabou, and Sean Castro all out of the race tonight. There's been all this man here, Trey Edson, all night long so far.
Yeah, he's been put on a clinic. I say earlier, Chad Cole's definitely keeping him honest. But then Trey was able to get that really good restart after that caution, and so I think at this point, he just needs to kind of just keep hitting his marks and just keep easy on the throttle like he's been doing, because he's been running really good lap times as well. Every so often, someone will be maybe a half a tenth or so faster than him, but when he's got about a 2-second lead, he can take it easy and just make sure he's not abusing his stuff.
Absolutely is. Like you said, with that 1.7 second lead out there, he's able to kind of run his own race. And, I think he's probably loving it. Looks good out there doing it in that number 40 machine there, Trey Edson. Brandon Bowie, well, he's not in the chase, but he's definitely having a good run here tonight. He'd love to put it in victory lane. He's up there in the second place spot. Tommy Ryan, though, the other chase contender, wants to come out of here with a good run, so he can come out of here with some good points here, along with Chad Cole right there in 4th.
Yes, and that's where I think with some of those guys like Tommy Ryan, Chad Cole, and of course also Trey Edson, maybe not taking risks per se, but they'll probably pick it up a little bit if they need to, because those 3 extra points in the next round will be huge for those guys. So that'll definitely be something to go after.
So far, so good right here as everybody's kind of, Tommy almost stuffed it up in the wall there for the moment. Kind of just bouncing off of it. J.D. Laird still hanging on to the 7th place spot. He's maybe moving in on Brian Macklin if he can't take that spot away. Justin Fuller's kind of neutralized out. Been out there for quite a while. Be interesting to see when they're going to take these pit stops here, and should maybe be the final one here tonight.
Yeah, that's gonna be the next question. Is do they want to potentially short pit to try to get the fresher tires, or at this point is it going to be better off for them just to kind of stretch it as far as they can and hope for a pit stop under yellow? Just because obviously with as fast as the track as it is here, you get caught down a lap, you'll be in trouble for the rest of the race.
Yeah, you're right. Unless there's just some cautions come out that'll help you out here. We've only got one machine that is a couple laps down. John Mustin out there, who's back in the 24th position. So everybody right now is definitely on the lead lap. All 23 machines out here. As Trey Edson, though, with the pace he's making, though, it wouldn't take long for him to run him down. If a long green flag run does keep going like it's going, that's a caution. But with the track conditions like it is, we just don't know. 1 minute these guys will be out here running pretty good. The next minute, boom.
And I think that's exactly it. It's going to be kind of when those drivers hit their cliff on the tires, because I'm actually looking at the lap times, and the fall off is not that bad at all. They're running still within about a half a second to a second of their best lap times. So it's not like some of the other tracks where once the tires are wearing, you're 2-3+ seconds slower. So I think on this sense, to me, it would actually be better for them just to keep running it and just either wait for a yellow or just run it as long as you can until you just have to pit.
Yep, absolutely. It's Steve Goschalk hanging on to 12th place right now. Dwayne Vincent up there to 13th. Nick Silver to 14th. Randy Yoakum 15th. It's a good run amongst everybody. Kind of spread out throughout the whole entire field here. Is that's kind of what a track like this produces after a while when you have some long green flag runs.
As I was about to say something, I say hopefully not. I say I didn't say it, so I didn't jinx it yet. But I'll say as I was about to say, Tommy Ryan was catching Brandon Bowie. Brandon got really loose entering 1 and 2, had to kind of just catch the truck, and that opened the door for Tommy Ryan to sneak on by. He puts him into the second position, and then Chad Cole's not that far behind them, trying to see if he can work his way back to the front again after that contact he had earlier with Brian Macklin.
Yeah, Chad Coleman up there in the ninth. Chad Cole's hanging on to the fourth place spot. So Chad Cole and company there, along with Justin Fuller, E.J. O'Rourke, have cracked the top 10. But that's a good job by those guys to bounce back and keep battling. They know what's on the line here as far as when it comes to chase points and everything else here. But you're right, Tommy Ryan now up to second. And that's something we have to look at. You know, this is such a momentum style track right now. You do see the gap between most of these guys. But even with that gap, that can be erased if one guy has a little slip up.
Oh yeah, no, it's so easy for these guys to have those little mistakes. So now's exactly what happened. Where slowly Tommy was catching Brandon, but then he just had that one mistake off of turns 1 and 2, and that's all Tommy needed to be able to grab that spot away right afterwards.
Yep. So Brandon Bowie right now hanging on to third. Chad Cole is still pulling up in the fourth place spot. And Chad Coleman and company, well, they're bringing Justin Fuller and E.J. O'Rourke along with him. They're going to work over J.D. Laird for the moment.
Yeah, I say they've been slowly but surely catching J.D. I say he'll be the next one that they're going to go after. I say they've been catching him about a tenth or so every lap. And it looks like we have our first taker on the pits is Ryan Howard, who had that spin earlier without the yellow coming out. So I think that hurt his tires enough, so he figured, you know what, I'm going to pit with 50 to go and then run it the rest of the way. Oh, as I say that, JD gets stuck in the wall, kind of the same way Fuller did earlier, and that's going to open up the spot there for Chad Coleman. So that'll put Chad now up to 7th, and then you've got JD and Fuller fighting here for the 8th position.
Yeah, just some treacherous track conditions here. You just saw JD right there having to chase that truck up, almost got it up onto the wall just a little bit. As Justin Fuller's trying on the inside, now he's got E.J. O'Rourke there on the back end of him, going to work him over with 49 to go.
Yeah, you know Justin wanted to follow through after Chad was able to get by him, but JD was able to recover his truck after that incident and grab the spot back, and so now it's going to make Fuller's job even that little bit harder. Oh, JD had a little wiggle off forward, but he's able to keep the momentum though.
Good battle right here. That's actually for the 8th, 9th, and 10th place spot. As J.D. Laird's trying to hang on to it, Justin Fuller won't sit. He comes off the sideways just a little bit off the turn, as we've seen most of the night with a lot of these trucks.
Yeah, this has been bringing this whole group all right back together now. I'll say Chad Coleman's got a small gap over JD, but then, I mean, from 8th all the way back to was 13th, they're all within about 2 seconds of each other. So, again, any little slip up and these guys will be ready to pounce on it.
Yes, it is, and the EJ's right there just lurking in the weeds just a little bit, just hanging on there. Justin Fuller sitting in 9th. They're going to work over JD. If he makes one slip, like you said, he's going to take that position away. Steve Goschak's there. Chad Coleman still on the 7th. All these guys right now kind of nose to tail. I got a feeling pit stops maybe within, the next 10, 15 laps?
Yeah, I think they'll be coming pretty soon. I'll say Ryan Howard made his stop, and he was 2 laps down, but he was able to already get 1 back on Trey Edson. So those new tires do account for something. He's been running the fastest laps on track last time by. He ran a 22.7 where everybody else was in the 23.3s and slower. So I think we might have just seen
E.J. O'Rourke.
Yeah, say EJ and Randy Yoakum look like they may have been takers right now for the pits.
Remember, EJ was right there in the top 10, right behind Justin Fuller there in the 10th place spot. It worked his way all the way back up, so he is opting to kind of short pit and see if he can't make up time on the track. Brandon Bowie's on the speedway, so I think we got some green flag stops here underway.
Yeah, but say it's definitely starting to kick off now. I think once they saw those lap times Ryan Howard was setting, everybody else is like, you know, this might be worth trying. And that's the whole thing of a risk versus reward. And I think I saw one more just hopping behind it. May have been Chad Cole. Nope, Kevin DeBrown also is hitting the pit road.
Yep. So far, so good. Justin Fuller's the man out there, along with Steve Ritter, Steve Goschalk, Dwayne Vincent, and company. Tommy Ryan's looking good, sitting in second, but Trey Edson's been the man all night long. Be interesting to see when they come down on pit road.
Yeah, I'll say that's going to be for Trey. He's going to kind of have to decide based on, I think, Tommy and Chad. He's not going to want to put himself in jeopardy of getting caught a lap down with a caution coming out at a bad time. But I'll say, as we say that, though, we have a lot of trucks coming out, like you said. You've got Steve Ritter, Steve Goschalk, Dwayne Vincent, and Nick Silver all hitting the pits at the same time. A little bit of a traffic jam getting in there, actually.
Yes, Trey Edson has got a huge lead, so he's pretty much on his own there. Tommy Ryan sitting in second. Chad Cole hangs on to the third place spot. He's right there near Tommy, not a little bit farther off. He's got a couple lap machines in between him and the second place man. So I had a feeling we're going to start seeing those guys come into pit road here soon.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right there. I say I'm watching Steve Gottschalk just got out of the pits there. I think that's going to put him 2 down. But you're going to see right now with those new tires, he's going to chase Trey down extremely quickly here to try to get one of those laps back.
Yes, he is. I think that's the thing is all these guys opted to kind of come into pits early like they did. But right now, Justin Fuller still out on the track. Trey Edson, Chad Coleman, Tommy Ryan jumping on pit road. Chad Coleman, J.D. Laird, and Justin Fuller are all the ones yet to have made a pit stop.
Yeah, leader's in. I say he actually decided to go before some of the guys around him, so that's going to put Chad Cole in the lead right now. But yeah, Trey Edson's in the pits as we speak.
You know what? He had a huge enough pit stop there to warrant doing that, because it's going to help him out. I think in the long run, it's going to be less than 38 to go. Those tires are definitely going to be good for him, as E.J. O'Rourke is definitely going to be one that's going to try to make up some time. Interesting to see. Here comes Chad Cole on pit road. Justin Fuller has yet to come on pit road. He's going to let it stretch a little further.
Yeah, it's worth the risk. I'll say. I mean, he can go a lot further than those guys can on fuel and tires. He pitted that caution when the rest of the lead pack stayed out. So far it looks like Chad's hit his pit stall well. I saw Trey Edson hit his very well also. So both of them doing their job getting on pit road. Now they got to get a good exit here and see how they all cycle out.
Yes, it is. Right now, very good. J.D. Laird and Justin Fuller still have yet to come into pit road. I don't know. At some point, they're going to have to think about just coming on pit road, get the pit stop done, because they're giving up a massive amount of time on the track. I know what they're doing. Hopefully that the tires at the end will help them out, the newer style tires. But at some point, it's a fine line between time and how those tires are going to work for you.
Yeah, saying that's, and the other potential is just, if you get that timely caution, you've got a lot of the field trapped a lap down. They'll all have to take a wave round, but it looks like Fuller's going to hop in the pits this time.
Yes. Well, you just saw right there Trey Edson pass him and get back on the lead lap. I think it was a smart move by Justin Fuller to finally come on pit road, as that's going to cycle around Trey Edson eventually as he comes around here in that number 40 machine. Tommy Ryan's going to be right there. The one thing about the green flag pit stops, well, it does split the field up here quite a bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to see who's where right now. It looks like Josh Zentek, he is one that actually is still staying out on his old tires. I say he just got passed there by Trey Edson. And I think actually through this cycle, Brendan Bowie is actually currently leading this race with his short pitting. He's able to get ahead of Trey by about, let's see, looks like about a second and a half or so.
Yes, he is. The Trey right now is looking pretty good. Brandon Bowie, the man out front here, who has got about a second lead over Trey Edson. He's made his pit stop, didn't he?
Yep, yeah, he pitted about, looks like 6 or so laps before Trey. So, I mean, he's going to have a slightly older tires, but again, as difficult as it is to pass, I think it was a good gamble. I'll say it looks like the short pitting's actually worked really well for some of these guys, because Kevin Brown is now in the 5th position. I say we'll wait for everything to cycle, so there's a few guys that haven't pitted yet. I think that'll actually put him in 4th, EJ in 5th, and Chad's going to actually wind up in the 6th position. So him staying out that a little bit longer has actually been hampering his track position.
Well, right now you can see Trey Edson is running down Brandon very quickly. His lap times are about 3/10 faster, and he's right there on his back tailgate. He's looking to try to maybe dive on the inside to take that spot. Brandon's not going to put up too much fight because he knows Trey is very quick. Trey's back to the top spot.
Yeah, so it was a really good job by Trey to try to get that lead back as soon as you can, just in case, because again, if there's another yellow, there's going to be people that are going to want to pit, get tires again, so you want to have as much of an advantage as you can. And then, as I say that, I say yellow came out just as I said that.
Yellow on
Looks
the
like it
track.
may have involved Justin Fuller. Or actually, I think it was in front of Fuller. Let me take a look here.
Right there on the replay here and see. Yeah, J.D. Laird.
Oh, yeah, it was the 46 truck.
Wow. Fuller. Oh, Justin was slowed down and he bumped the back end of another truck there. Just wasn't able to get woed down in time, but JD just lost that truck, and unfortunately, we were talking earlier, JD brought that thing all the way to the front. Got marred back in traffic, just lost it there, but, well, now what do you do? Do you actually come back into the pits again?
I think you're going to have to. I think you will, because I think Trey and Chad are the ones that stayed out the most recent. What this really did work out, though, is for Josh Zentek and Doug Sigmund. They had not pitted yet, so now they're actually cycling with the leader, so that was a really good strategy on their parts. And yeah, it looks like the whole field's coming in here. So this is where I would be willing to guess you're going to see tires and no fuel. This is where they're going to try to get those trucks a little tighter, get the new tires on, and then go after it full tilt. So it looks like you're going to see most likely four tires for all these trucks.
We've been sitting here talking about get the truck tighter. Let's flip that a little bit, because some drivers, and I've talked to them in the past, actually like a looser style car or truck. You see JD kind of missed a pit stop there, but I know we've been talking about loosen the truck up or tighten the truck up, tighten it up. Maybe some guys don't want to tighten it up. We'll just have to see, like you said, how this pans out at the end here. But you're right. Definitely four tires. It would have been crazy to stay out on that track, because you don't know, it could have went green the rest of the way. It would have been a sitting duck there. And now everybody's back on good tires. Trey Etson's there. Brandon Bowie sitting in second. Kevin Brown third. E.J. O'Rourke, that helped him out a lot. He's up to fourth, and Chad Cole in the fifth.
Yeah, I think Kevin and EJ are going to have to buy their crews there a beer after this race. Let's say they both were about half a second quicker than some of their competition's pit stops there. So they were in the mid to low 13s. So really good stops by those guys, able to gain them a couple spots in the pits.
Got to give a shout out there to Josh Zentek, though, who was up to seventh. So a good pit stop by him and a good track position there for those guys. Ron Howard hangs on to 8. Chad Coleman 9th. Steve Ritter hangs on to the top 10. But, wow, it's been a good one so far. And Nick Cohan out there, he's you a Justin Fuller fan?
Oh, Nick loves Fuller.
Well, my question is where's Nick Cohan at? Why ain't he out here on the track and giving Justin Fuller all he can handle out here tonight? Because I know he's fast when it comes to these trucks and comes to cars. So, but it's going to be less than 25 to go here, Gael. It's been interesting. It's going to see who's going to come out of here. Contreras and hang on to it on the top spot. He's been dominating all race long. You got Brandon, who has been up there. He's trying to sneak out the win here. Kevin Brown's in the mix. Can E.J. O'Rourke bounce back, though, for the mishap earlier on? So, chase race here tonight at Richmond for the WCIparts.com. Here presented by the SIM500. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like what you see. Hit a like, hit a share. You're home for fun and exciting sim racing. Online simracingnetwork.com. Been a good one.
Yeah, it really has. I'd say it's definitely. I'll say we're going to have to take. The points are definitely going to be interesting to take a look at after this race. I don't know how quick we'll get them updated, but say Richard Swavely was one of those contenders that's saying he's out of the race with the damage from earlier. And then you just saw right there, Justin Fuller, obviously, with his damage from that wreck, and then also Brian Macklin getting the wave around here. So They're definitely not in the position they want to be on track, so they're going to have to try to get a little bit as much as they can here in this remaining, what, 23, 24 laps.
Yes, sir. And I tell you what, we're going to stack them back up side by side. That ain't no excuse out there, Nick, by the way. As we get set to go back, green flag here. Pace car's in. Trey Edson, the man all night long. He's dominated. He's going to see if we can't get a good jump out front. He does. Stacks the field up for the moment. He gets a good stump out there. Here comes EJ. EJ knows he's right there. He wants to come out of here. If he can't win, at least come out of here with a good finish.
Yeah, and this is exactly what, if Kevin Brown can get cleared. Oh, can't quite. Oh no, Ryan Howard's in the wall off of turn 2. That's gonna bring the yellow out.
Hard contact. Let's go back on the replay and see what happened to him.
Now say right as he had was able to recover nicely after that situation, and say, yeah, let's take a look what happened here.
Yeah, showing the replay here. Kind of looks like just the truck came out from under him, and we've seen it all night long. Just it looped out from under him, slams the inside wall. Wow.
Nah, yeah, that's really unfortunate. I say he'd made a really good recovery after that spin through the grass on earlier in the race to stay in the lead lap, and then the way the pit cycled through, he was in a really good position again after all that. So yeah, he's gonna have to try to get some of this damage fixed and just see what kind of progress he can make. I'm going to take a look, see where he is in the points.
Now, if I'm, while you're doing that, now if I'm a guy like Justin Fuller back in 18th spot or so, don't have much to lose, I would come into pit road at this time, get tires, because they have been out there for a couple laps, even though it's been under pit laps. Still, anything might help. And we're going to be less than 20 to go here. Remember, folks, you have green white checkers here, so this thing goes caution. They're going to get one shot at a green white checkered here tonight.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, though, so Brian Macklin and Justin Fuller both pitted for tires here, so that'll give them that little bit of an advantage there. Probably try to get a little bit more damage fixed as well, get it running a little better. So actually, I was looking at the points, and so unfortunately, Ryan Howard, I think he may have missed 1 or 2 of the first 2 chase races, so he's pretty far back in points. I'm not sure if it would have to been kind of a Hail Mary for him to make it in. So he's probably not going to advance at this point, unfortunately. But however, like I mentioned with Richard Swavely and then some of the other issues, like with JD Laird earlier, it's going to be really tight for those last couple of spots between 11th and 12th.
Well, it's going to be a good one here to finish this one out here tonight at Richmond International Speedway. I'm kind of curious to see can Trey Edson hang on to it here. He has definitely got the control of the field by being the leader out there. He's gotten a good restarts here. I know these cautions here, though, he doesn't like to see them because the more they go, the more chance he has to spin the tires, maybe mess up on the start. We'll just have to see what happens here. It's going to be less than 20 to go here. Can Trey Edson hang on to the rest of it?
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much had control of this race the whole time. I think the only moment that he's maybe had to try to really work was to make sure he got around that number 1. And like you mentioned, I mean, he got around him about a lap before that caution came out. So had that not happened, Brandon would have had the advantage getting in the pits and possibly even be able to have that control of the start. So really good job of making sure he got back out in front when he needed to. So I think now the main one is I'm looking at 3rd place, Kevin Brown. He's going to need to try to capitalize on this restart. Try to see if he can get in a good position there to hang on to that top 2 or 3 positions. Because I think of the ones who have a chance at the points, he needs to have a bit of not a Hail Mary per se, but he needs to gain about 10 more points than some of those guys right in front of him. So it's definitely doable, especially like with what happened to Richard Swavely. So we'll have to see after all this cycles through.
Yeah, anything's possible here tonight at Richmond because we've seen some wild stuff so far. It's getting set to go back. Green flag racing here. Trey Edson's the man out front with Brandon Bowie there, sitting alongside of him. Kevin Brown, E.J. O'Rourke, and Chad Cole, the top 5. Pace cars pulling them around. We're getting set to go back green.
So the guys who have some, basically to go forward is going to be Justin Fuller. He's going to restart in 20th position. Brian Macklin's restarting in 17th. And then you've got Jason Barham in 14th position. Steve Gottschalk in looks like the 13th position, I believe. So, and right with him as well as was also JD Laird. So there's a lot of chase or playoff trucks right there.
Yes, it is. Pace car's in, green flag flies, and I'm gonna tell you, Trey Edson gets another good jump out front. We're back racing.
Yeah, so this time though, I know Kevin was able to get a much better start though. He's able to get to the inside of Brandon, so now he's just got to be careful on the throttle, not to get too aggressive on it. I was saying Brandon had a really good exit there off of 2 and was able to clear him entering 3 and get to the bottom.
Yeah, EJ is caught up high, not the place he wants to be. Tommy Ryan's down low. The 82 there, Chad Cole sitting in 6th place spot. Here we go. I'm going to see, is EJ going to try to battle? We're in the caution.
Yeah, it looks like the 06 of Doug Sigmund. Looks like he got a little loose off of 4, I believe. I was saying, and just unfortunately for Justin Fuller, he didn't really have anywhere he could go, so got into the back of him, hooked him around, and yeah, so that's what brought us under caution there.
Well, I'll tell you what, and Justin Fuller, just not the night he's won. He's got a fast machine, just can't get out of trouble and get out of the pack back there. That's the danger zone, but I think it saves EJ up here, though, a little bit. EJ's able to hang on to 4th place. He was caught there on the outside, and he was losing some positions. We're kind of interested in now, see what happens.
Yeah, I'll say that's going to put Kevin still in the 3rd position, which again, that's I think where you'd rather be versus being up in the up in 2nd, just because you can kind of have that you can get to the bottom right away if you can get a good start. So I'm trying to see who will be in 5th. I believe it's going to be Tommy Ryan.
Yeah.
Yep, that's going to put Chad Cole in 6th, so it definitely won't be where he wants to be. And then Chad Coleman in the 7th position.
Well, you're right there, and I tell you what, Trey, he has definitely been the man all night long, and Brandon Bowie still hanging on the 2nd, Kevin Brown the 3rd, Jay fell the 4th. What's up, John, out there? How you doing? And Rick out there, I guess he says that he doesn't like, he's a big fan of Ryan, so there you go.
Well, I'll say it wouldn't be racing if it didn't have some drama between various drivers and people. So that's why people are here, right?
Racing, you gotta love it. Short track at that too, and sometimes short track tempers flare. That's the thing we gotta look at, and it is race chase here, and a lot of chase drivers out there. And I love doing that. Love reading chat. Even my dogs back here agree with. They're excited about the race.
And so you got to get everybody, 2-legged and 4-legged into these ones. So, no, I'm on board with that. Say mine are just busy sleeping. So I've got lazy pets, but
mine
at
just
least
came
you've got
in
something
from outside. There you go. They just
Yeah,
came
no,
in
like
from
you said.
outside. So they got excited a little bit there.
So yes, I mean that's gonna give. And the other thing Trey's having to do is he's gonna have to keep switching up his restarts, because it's like, okay, I went early last time. Do I go late? Are they gonna expect me to go late? Do they not think I'll go early twice in a row? Like you have to. It's since the leader has to control the start, you kind of have to play those games a little bit. And obviously it's a little easier in my opinion here, because you have that whole from when the pace car enters the pits to when the flag's actually thrown versus the restart zones. But still though, I mean, you still have to kind of plan it out accordingly.
And that's why I always kind of favored just go. Don't let them go until the actual green flag flies. But again, either way, that's league by league and rule by rule. And Trey, by having the lead out there, can go anytime as soon as the pace car drops off. But you're right, he has to time that right, because after a while, Brandon, if these cautions keep happening, he's going to try to, maybe jump that start there a little bit. He can't pass the leader before the start-finish line, but if he can get alongside of him going into turn 1, he's definitely got a good thing there, and keep, Kevin Brown from being on his inside.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. And I mean, that's the same thing too for Kevin. I mean, if he times it a little bit early and maybe jumps on it too soon and gets into the bumper of Trey, gets in a little squirrely. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen. And that's what Trey has to be aware of. Like I've seen before, where they'll watch the guy next to him try to time it, wait for him to back off, and then go to get a really good start on that 2nd place truck. But I'll say these guys are way better than I am. I'm not usually in the front row anyway, so we'll have to see what the plan is for this one.
Absolutely. Pace car's off. Here we go. Getting set to go green flag. See what Trey Edson does on the restart here. He's had some good ones all night long, and it looks like he got another good one. Brandon was able to hold with him and clear the second place man. Here comes EJ along with him.
Yeah, I'll say that was a really good restart for Trey and also for Brandon. Say not quite what Kevin was looking for there. So now his goal is going to be to try to see if he can at least clear EJ. That way he can use that whole track for the exit of the turns. But again, this is where, as I say caution came out again, unfortunately.
Wow, let's see what we got here. Who that's on.
Looks like it was Jeff Ryan and Justin Fuller, but this one, honestly, I see a lot of net code. There's a lot of room between those two trucks, and it still acted like the hit.
Well, Justin Fuller just cannot catch a break. Wow.
Yeah, so that pretty much sums up his night right now. So it's gone from bad to worse for him.
Those out there, and I like that John said today is National Cheeseburger Day. An awesome day then, I'm going to tell you what. Cheeseburgers love meat.
Well, let's say after done here, see what's still open. We can go hit something up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, the way I eat, though, I need like a salad. Hey, they make one of those.
I'm sure there's a cheeseburger salad out there for you.
Absolutely.
There's a will, there's a way. So I'm trying to see where everything is cycling now. So actually, that's going to put EJ now into the third position with Kevin now in fourth. So again, that makes a really big difference on that restart there for EJ now, because that puts him in a much better position. If he can get a good start behind Trey, that could put him in. I believe they're teammates as well, so there might be a little bit more strategy between them on trying to time this restart, where maybe they can both get around Brandon for a 1-2 for their team.
Well, the one thing I've always said about EJ here is he's definitely one of the more aggressive style drivers. He'll drive that truck very hard, and right now it's he's been up there. This is the closest to the leader he's been all night long. Probably not what Trey Edson wants to see, because if he can clear Brandon, he's going to set his sights on. That's what I'm saying. These yellow flags here have not really helped Trey here out to try to get out there out front for a long period of time.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And the other thing is, EJ's pretty good in points. He was running in the 6th position in points, so I think he'll be in a good spot, especially with where he's running now. But again, we talked about those bonus points. He's going to want to get them too. So we'll have to see. And the other thing about EJ is he always gives some pretty fun interviews. So I'm kind of unbiased, looking forward for him to have a top 3. That we could have a fun interview with him.
Well, you know what? He's had a absolutely outstanding race, kind of up and down all night long. Got that WCIparts.com machine looking good. A title sponsor here for the truck series here at the SIM500 with Richmond chase race. So he's looking to maybe capitalize. He was marred back in traffic, got caught up in a wreck early. He's been a battle back. He's up here, going to start in third. Brandon Bowie, though, he wants to hang on to that second place spot in Trey's and just wants to get away from these guys.
Yeah, Trey's like, you know what? Let's just get 5 clean laps in, and let's all call it a night and go on to the next round.
Oh yeah, but and I know short track racing, cautions breed cautions. Let's see what happens as everybody's going to bunch them up. We'll run it around here one more time and let Trey Edson take off here with the green flag.
Yeah, so then we'll get the 1 to go here. And again, I know I'm harping on it and I apologize for it, but just the points situation. Like Fuller isn't safe, obviously, with where he was in the points. So, right now he's going to be running, it looks like, in the
19th.
What's it going to be? 19th position? Yeah, 18th, 19th, somewhere in that range. And so that may not be enough. I think it's going to depend on where these other drivers wind up. So. But yeah, like you said, you just gotta, and that might be what you see. You've seen it in the Cup Series with Ryan Newman, just kind of shoving Larson out of the way at Phoenix because he needed that 1 point. And I'm not sure how up to date the drivers are on it, but I'm sure they're gonna try to get every little thing they can.
Well, here we go. Pace car's in. Trey Edson wasting no time this time, but he does bring EJ O'Rourke with him. And I don't know, even though they might be teammates, EJ's like, well, hey. I want to win just as much as you do, Trey.
Yeah, so that's where I think EJ's best bet here is going to be just to really pressure him hard here and try to force him into a mistake at this point. Obviously, Trey's been doing really well all race long, but it's one of those things that kind of just amps up the pressure. Like, I mean, if it was me in his position, my heart would be pumping really hard right now just because it's like, all right, come on, we got to let something happen here.
3 to go. If they get that white flag, won't matter if caution comes out, but EJ right now hanging on to the second place spot. Trey Edson's up in the lead. Brandon Bowie holds on the third. Watching back here, J.D. Laird in the 8th place spot. He's battling with Chad Cole and Chad Coleman. And Chad Coleman's on the outside. Remember, there are a couple Chase drivers right there in the mix. Steve Ritter 9th. Nick Silver hangs on to 10th. But you're right. With these guys, with the top 10 as close as they are running, it's going to make it hard if Justin Fuller's in a hole coming out of this race.
Yeah, I was saying right now, I feel like Chad Cole's in a good spot points-wise, even with where he's not going to be happy with the finish. But I say it's going to be really close on the points. I'll say Brandon Bowie's getting a little bit of a run inside. EJ's going to take a peek here off of 2. He's got the run there, so this will be the battle for the second position. We'll see if Kevin's able to do something here with him as well.
Last turn, last lap, and the man's going to win it. Trey Edson here is coming across the line. But here we go. I tell you what, I think EJ held on to it right there by a drag race to the end.
Now let's scroll back and take a quick look. Yeah, so that's going to put Brandon up to second, EJ third, and then
wow, what a
Kevin
finish.
in fourth. I was saying they're all about like pretty much a truck length away from each other there.
What a finish to that one there. These guys here definitely had a good one. You're right. Brandon Bowie, man right there, was able to just hang on to it ever so slightly.
Yeah, Sam. I'm happy to see that Trey was able to hang on to that win because let's say he was so fast all night, and you hate to see those ones get kind of taken away from him at the very end.
Justin Fuller right now is the man who is definitely going to burn these things down here tonight. Or Trey Edson, excuse me, going to burn these things down here tonight. Good run from him all night long. Wow.
Yeah, no, he was on rails. I say, I think Chad Cole may have had a chance at something for him, but just unfortunately towards the end, he just couldn't get that track position he needed again after the contact early on. I mean, that was early in the race, and just he was not able to recover from then.
Yep, absolutely. Want to get some of these guys up here and get a word in with them there. We got Brandon waiting for Ray Edson, our man.
I think you're waiting for the race winner. Say we got the other two ready for us though.
Absolutely. So here we go. Let's bring up third place man, EJ O'Rourke. Get a word in with him.
Hey EJ, Guile up here in the booth. Say, really good last lap battle between you and Brandon there at the end, and obviously kind of bred cautions at the end. Just everybody going for all it was worth, just knowing how close the points were for that transfer spot, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Richmond's always an exciting race, no matter what the circumstances are, but being a cutoff race in the playoffs, it definitely makes it exciting.
So I know it was hot and slick, and you guys were definitely had your hands full. Was there anything you could do really? Like, did you guys try any fuel strategies of maybe like short filling it or anything like that, or is at that point just drive it basically?
Yeah, so every pit stop I would leave a few gallons out of it, so I started about 9 or 10 gallons, and it really helped to get through the corner because this thing was awful. So it was really slick, so left the fuel out of it, was able to kind of power down earlier and have a little bit of handle underneath somebody.
Yeah, so I think points are still being updated. I think obviously with where you were going into it, and then of course with your finish there, you should be definitely safe to move on to the next round. But I definitely want to give you your moment here. Any thanks or shout outs you'd like to give?
I just got to thank everybody at SIM500 for doing this, putting this league on, and everyone at WCI Parts. It's pretty cool to have them on my truck, and to have won the first championship with them in this league is really neat. So this Silverado's been running good, so hopefully we can, next week at the Roval will be tough. first race of a new round. So we'll see. Top 5s are always good. Top 10s, just gotta keep plugging away and getting the job done.
Sounds good. Yeah, saying that's gonna be the new updated rollable. It's gonna have the slightly bigger, not like the little, almost like the jump it was before. So that might be a little safer for you guys to make your way through.
Yes, sir. It'll be interesting. Hopefully, we're sitting in victory lane at the end of that.
Sounds good. I'll catch you next week, EJ. Good run there by the number 41 WCRparts.com Silverado.
Yeah, absolutely right there. Doing what he needed to do. So, well, let's bring up the second place man here tonight, Brandon Bowie. He edged him out for second.
Yeah, so it was a really good last lap run there by Brandon. Was able to get to the inside of him and make it stick. Let's say we were probably talking a little bit too much about all the playoff drivers, but you were able to kind of spoil their day today with a really good run there with your number 1 Silverado.
Yeah, it was a pretty good day. I didn't actually plan on running up front. I actually did not know that this was a cutoff race until I was told about midway. But honestly, last week at Las Vegas was pretty hurtful. I ran top 10 and got caught up in some stuff, so I didn't have a good finish there. So I wanted to come out to Richmond and make sure I had a good run, solid. Want to make sure the sponsor got represented, RacingBids.com and Commodore's Garage, and so to make sure the team got noticed today.
I'll say that it did, and I'll say you had a really good pit strategy during that green flag stops. It looked like you short pitted just that little bit ahead of Trey, and I'd say that got you the lead for a little while, where you had to really work on make him work, I should say, to get back around you. We were talking about the timing of the caution just after he got by you. Did you think if you had control of those restarts, you think you could have been able to hold him off though?
And I thought about that after the nicely timed caution came out. I mean, Trey was fast all day. With the little bit of things that I could try in the truck and in different lanes, maybe. But the cautions would have had to fall my way again in order for me to hold him off. So it's hard to tell, hard to really say. But congratulations to him. He ran a flawless race today. But we're getting better. Hopefully next week we can get that win.
I'll say it sounds good. I'll say one definitely give you an opportunity though. Any thanks or shouts you'd like to give though?
Yeah, gotta give a shout out again to RacingBids.com. I have a great page on Facebook. If you check them out, they sell all different types of memorabilia, auctions, and things like that. Great place to buy all types of authenticity products. Commodore's Garage also is a Facebook page. They're great for learning setups as far as building iRacing setups on iRacing. And gotta thank my family. Gotta thank teammates that run with me on here, and gotta thank the man above.
All right, there you have it, the number 1 truck Silverado of Brandon Bowie. Good run here, getting home in second place, but I'd say he's looking for one better next week at the Roval.
Absolutely. Well, right there, he did an outstanding job edging out EJ at the line for the second place and did a good run all night long. But let's bring this guy up here, Trey Edson. Trey, man, you dominated all night long here. What a win here at Richmond.
Yeah, as bad as that thing drove in practice, I didn't know how we were going to run tonight. So track position was key. You kind of just get out there, get that clean air on the nose, hit your marks, and take care of the tires. And there's a couple guys that could stay with me for a little bit, and then they would fade off. I feel like Chad Cole probably he was the biggest competition tonight, but he ran into some trouble. So I hate it for him, but I liked it for my chances. But yeah, that's a good way to end that first round. So we jumped to the top of the points lead. So we'll go battle for 3 more and see if we can keep going.
What'd you think about those final cautions there? Was you kind of worried when EJ finally got up there to second place?
Not really, because we're teammates. So I kind of gave him my launching point the last restart. So usually when I do that, I can trust him. I know he's not going to do anything crazy. So Brandon, I was worried about Brandon because the last pit stop, I didn't add any fuel, thinking it would make the drive off a little bit better. and I accomplished that, but it just killed the entry and like center turn. So I was struggling there the first lap after restarts, and luckily we didn't get too many of them. But there was one where Brandon was all over my bumper, so I thought I kind of screwed myself. So I was glad to see the cautions at times, and then yeah, I don't know. I think they saved me, but then they hurt me at times. So it works both ways.
Hey, you definitely had a dominating truck and put it in victory lane here tonight in dominating fashion here at the short track. And good points night for you here too, like I said, heading out of here, Richmond. But you got anybody you want to thank, man, for tonight?
Yeah, you and Gael, y'all do a great job. I'll go back and watch the race tomorrow. I know I kind of stunk it up, but hopefully you guys made it worth a rewatch with some other action going on in the pack. Got to thank Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. I think Jason Barham, who's the 22 truck, he's behind the Kick-Ass partnership with myself. I think he ran into some trouble, but I think he had enough of a cushion headed in tonight where he advanced to round 2, so it's good for him. I think Joey and Trans Service, they're on my Cup car. Who else we got? I don't know. SIM500. I don't know what other sponsors are in the league. The FEG. I think they're going to sponsor one of the series. Just everybody that keeps this thing going, and hopefully we can take this momentum and take it all the way to Homestead.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, a good run there tonight. And again, congratulations on the win there, Trey Edson.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a good one.
All right. I'll tell you what, that was a good run there, Gael, tonight. As we're going to leave here at Richmond. What a race this was here.
Yeah, so they had to earn it tonight. And yeah, I say Trey was, like you said, I mean, he was on rails. I was really impressed with him, and I'm glad he was able to kind of pull it off at the end as well. I hate when drivers are kind of leading the whole race and they have something bad happen to him at the end. So good to see him do that. And then, yeah, really good runs by by Brandon. Get that second place finish, kind of shake off the bad luck he had last week. And yeah, so now we're going to go from 16 drivers to 12 and going to start things off at the Roval.
Yeah, good road course racing there next week. Going to be interesting to see as we leave here for the short track of Richmond. As a man, Trey Edson puts it in victory lane tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed it. For WCI Parts, SIM500, self here at OSR Network, myself and Gael up here. Everyone have a good night.